Your Highness, our capture of the fortress is complete.
Now the path to the Imperial capital is finally open to us. Once we have finished cleaning up after the battle, let's have another meeting to discuss our next move.
今天该举办庆功宴，不要工作过头了哟。
It would be one thing if we were at home or at the monastery, but to waste our resources like that here would be most...
好吧。
Pardon the interruption. We've just received a letter from Margrave Gautier.
Very well. I will read it at once. I see. It seems the conflict within Fargus has at last come to an end.
Yes, Your Highness. Margrave and the other Eastern Lords are at the center of it, and are gathering the kingdom's military forces even now. They intend to join with the Alliance army and send troops and supplies to the monastery.
What do you know? My old man is really pulling his weight. Did he seem well?
Yes, as well as can be expected. He has taken it upon himself to bring order back to our troubled territory, while His Highness is away.
I am truly in the Margrave's debt. I will be sure to thank him properly at first opportunity. Thank you for the information. Now tell me, did it seem to you that my presence was needed back at the monastery?
Well, I do have a verbal message from the Margrave on the subject.
A verbal message? How strange.
The other day, he arrested one of Viscount Kleiman's men. And, well, the prisoner has claimed involvement in the tragedy of Dusker.
Oh?
He has implicated his lord as well.
他们抓到了西部领主格雷曼子爵，这个名字好像是第一次出现哦。
Go on.
I was told they would be transporting this man to the monastery, along with the troops and supplies. The Margrave said that regardless of the credibility of the man's testimony, how he should be dealt with was your decision alone, Your Highness.
Very well. All that considered, I will return to the monastery at once. Will you come with me, Professor? Thank you.
Part 2. Azure Moon. Verdant Rain Moon. Our chosen paths.
人类的下一步，人类这个词太大了吧？
The Kingdom Army has captured Fort Mercius. Managing troops from the now stable Western Kingdom and former Alliance territory, the Kingdom Army returns to Garreg to regroup and reorganize its forces. With sufficient might to challenge the Empire, the Kingdom Army finalizes their plans to march on Enbar, the Imperial capital.
Ah, there you are. His Highness was looking for you. He's gone ahead and started interrogating the prisoner, Viscount Kleiman's man. He said he'd like for you and I to be present as well. Will you come with me?
I cannot overlook your reckless remarks. Are you really so keen to lose your head?
I only did what I believed was right. I swear to the goddess that I'm not lying. Amidst the turmoil of the tragedy, Lady Patricia was supposed to be the only one who was unharmed.
哦，这个帕特里西亚大人，他没死。
We had been given orders ahead of time to not approach her carriage.
Of course not. What would my stepmother have had to gain from such a...
Perhaps Lady Patricia would have done anything to return to the Empire, to her husband and daughter.
What exactly are you implying?
For the past few months, I've been spying on lords who defected to the Empire in order to investigate rumors about Lady Patricia. Cornelia's words were true. The two of them, I am afraid they conspired together after all.
Enough of this nonsense! You say she wished to return home? That isn't nearly enough reason to cause such a tragedy.
I do not intend to imply that the two of them were solely responsible for the whole affair. They were likely nobles who opposed the king, or potentially someone who wanted to throw the kingdom into chaos.
就是说这个科纳的话呢，他说是这个小王子的继母啊，应该是他说的那两个人应该是小王子的继母跟小王子继母的哥哥，就是那个亚德兰宫勾结。
The Empire and people like Solon and Kronya had their motives too.
对吧？他的继母呢，提供了他们的行踪，把他们的行踪透露给这个索隆和克罗尼埃，然后他们的话，那些暗黑蠢动者再把他们，就什么国王兰贝尔他们一波带走，应该是这么个节奏。
So my stepmother joined with them to cause the tragedy. Is that what you believe?
Ultimately, this is just conjecture based on the evidence at hand. I have no idea what their true intentions were.
I see. We will hear what this man has to say. For now.
My lord had long felt that King Lambert's radical ways were dangerous. At the time he was approached with an offer to take part in the incident at Dusker. My lord loves his homeland. To me, he embodied justice. We were only doing what we thought was right.
And so, in the name of justice, he caused massacre upon massacre out of love for his homeland. You murdered your own king, killed our soldiers, and involved innocent citizens. And yet you have the gall to speak of justice!
I am only standing before you now, because I could no longer bear the weight of my sins.
一样是为国家着想吗？
Yes, I believe I do.
Gilbert, lock this man in his cell.
Are you not going to kill him?
I will make that decision once I have had time to consider this man's definition of justice.
Yes, Your Highness.
Are you okay?
No, I cannot say that I am. Tell me, Professor, how well do you remember your father, Gerald?
意外的多。
Soon enough, you will come to understand how painful it is to forget the faces of those who have passed on. To be honest, I cannot really remember my stepmother's... that woman's smile, nor the sound of her voice. I always told myself that I would not allow my mind to forget, and yet, all I can recall with clarity is her gazing away, so forlorn. Did my stepmother wish to go home so badly that she would kill father and me? Kill her false family? Home, to her own blood. Her true family.
那就要看你爸是不是强行把他留在身边了。其实你继母不喜欢你爸，然后你爸的话就用了各种手段强行把他留在身边的话，他才会有这么大的怨念啊。Who knows?
I suppose it doesn't make any difference now. I am asking you questions you could not possibly know the answer to. I am finished with thoughts like that. I am finally able to go on living without clinging to hate.
也不给一个官方的解释啊，到底是怎么一回事？但是这个达斯卡悲剧的话，肯定是暗黑蠢动者那帮人搞出来的。他们搞出达斯卡悲剧，好像就是为了把，艾德尔贾特啊改造成拥有原之文章的人。
If I truly treasure those who have died, then I must earnestly atone for my sins. Father, Glenn, all of the soldiers who have fallen, the people of Dusker who still suffer persecution. The only atonement I can offer them now is to take responsibility for this broken kingdom that has been entrusted to me.
正是如此。
That is why I feel that I must meet with Edelgard and try to talk to her. Do you think it is a fool's errand? Honestly, I think so too. But I must swallow my feelings and grudges, our whole history really, and ask her about this future that she sees. What she aims for once her domination is complete. what kind of justice she clings to as she fights, and why she felt it necessary to start this war. I believe that asking her these things is the true responsibility I have been tasked with as king. We will march our troops to the Imperial capital. But before any battle begins, we will set up camp nearby and send a messenger. I will tell her that I need to speak with her in a safe place, without any weapons or troops. As to whether or not she will agree to my request, well, that rests solely on Edelgard. I would like to believe that as well. You know, Professor, when we fought in Ferdiad, Cornelia mocked me and called me pitiful. But even if it is true that my stepmother never loved me, I am not to be pitied. After all, I have allies and dear friends who care for me. And now, I also have you by my side.
先存个档，然后我们的支援信息的话，哇，小王子跟菲利克斯。
I have a question for you. Answer quickly before my hand slips and I cut you in half.
Always so ominous. Well, what is it, Felix?
Sometimes you have an animal's face, contorted with anger and bloodlust. At other times, a man's with a friendly smile. Which is your true face?
Do not waste your breath on questions with such obvious answers. They are both the real me. My father, my friends, Glenn. They all meant a great deal to me. And they were all brutally slaughtered. I alone survived. If I do not shoulder the anguish and regret they must have felt, who will?
So that's how you justify your atrocities.
What do you mean?
I will fulfill my duty to the late king. My old man used to say that over and over like a mantra. How nauseating. No one seems to understand. The dead won't acknowledge your loyalty. They don't care. What a load of bunk it is, pretending to serve a corpse. You're serving your own ego.
You are wrong.
No, I'm not. The dead are dead. The living are living. You have to respect that boundary. If you keep stringing gravestones around your neck, you'll snap.
Even still, I cannot forget them, nor can I let them go.
Then keep those thoughts to yourself. If you're too weak to do that, abandon your throne. Become a gravekeeper.
Felix.
I'm not immune to emotion, you know. Far from it. I haven't gone a day without questioning why my father and brother had to die, while I survived. I'll bear this pain until the day I die, but I refuse to wallow in it. I have more important things to do than blubber for my whole life.
You know, Felix, you really are growing more and more like your brother. Always so sarcastic and constantly looking for a fight. But deep inside, more than anyone, you...
What are you getting at?
Oh, it's nothing. But allow me to thank you. Your perspective has opened my eyes.
Not my intention. I couldn't stand the pathetic look on your face, that's all.
I see. If you say so, then we will leave it at that.
他们俩的关系好像还是
Dedu? Are you okay? You look unwell.
Ingrid. Is my face frightening?
What? I mean, or sort of? Or not exactly. I wouldn't use the word frightening. Aggressive, maybe? But it's really nothing to worry about. Why? Did someone say something cruel?
I made a village child cry.
What?
Oh, I see. Let me guess. You feel like you look frightening, So you walked around with a smile glued to your face.
How did you know?
I'm starting to understand how you think. The thing is, forced smiles never work well. They usually just end up making a person look creepy and insincere.
I see. Duly noted.
To be honest, when we first met, I was pretty intimidated by you. Not because of a smile, but a lack of any emotion whatsoever. And you so rarely spoke. I had no idea what to make of you. But that's only because I wasn't making an effort to get to know you, because you were from Dusker. As I started to get to know you, to understand your personality, I realized what a fool I'd been.
Personality.
You may come off intimidating, but underneath that cool exterior is a kind, loyal, and noble person. A really wonderful person. In a certain regard, you are one of the knightliest people I know. What is it?
Wonderful person. This is the first time anyone has ever said a thing like that to me. It is rather awkward.
It's only awkward if you make it awkward. Which it kind of is, now.
Well, let me know if you need anything.
Yes, of course. Same to you, Dedu.
最后是菲利克斯和谢尔凡。
Sylvain!
Hey, Felix. I'm glad you're safe.
You irresponsible fool! Protecting me like that? You're so weak and yet you always...
Look, it doesn't matter. As long as you're safe. You can go on living, while I...
Stop kidding around! You're not going to die. I won't let you!
I won't die on you, I promise. You think something like this could kill me? No way. A little magic will take care of the wound. Some bed rest, then I'm good to go out and do it all over again.
Sylvain?
Oh, come on, that was funny. It's not like you to be so concerned.
You really are a fool. The biggest in all of Fodlan. I thought something was off. There's no way you could die from such a small cut. You're so reckless and inattentive. I thought this might be divine punishment.
Hey, that's not nice. You should be thanking me.
I am grateful. You've been doing this since we were children. Constantly fooling around, but then showing up and helping when we really need you. I'll admit, seeing that smile on your face, I almost want to give you a hug. Almost.
A hug? Did you get hit on the head? Come on. Tell me you want to hug me again. I liked it.
I won't be repeating it, you half-wit. You're obviously fine, so I'll leave now.
You know how we grew up together?
Obviously.
Do you remember the promise we made when we were kids? About sticking together until we die together?
I remember.
Well, I'm really not trying to get myself killed before you. You know that, right?
I know. But I'm tired of these close calls. You have to stop fooling around. Take your training more seriously. You can die whenever you please, but I'm not going down with you.
Okay, I get it. Once I've healed, I'll get my act together.
Then I hope you have a speedy recovery. Sylvain, thank you.
That's what friends are for, Felix.
我之前玩到过，就菲利克斯跟谢尔凡的搞基结局啊，就是说他们两个人就一直在一起，然后他们在同一天死了，很有缘分哦。那现在的话，我们所有，并不是所有哦，小王子跟雅尼特还欠缺了一点。 丢丢跟所有人的好感都满了，菲利克斯也是。亚修、夏凡、梅斯、雅尼特还差一个跟小王子，英古利特、西提斯、福莲的全满了，吉奥伯特的也全满了，就只剩小王子跟雅尼特，他们还差一个 A 加的支援剧情啊，其他就全满了。什么的？这是最后一个月了，看起来也没有什么新的。亚修，你怎么又在这儿？
Returning to the monastery brings back so many memories from 5 years ago. Hard to believe we only spent a year together here. So much happened that it felt a lot longer than that, but it was all so exciting and so much fun. Honestly, I think those memories are what's kept me fighting this long. What was that year like for you, Professor?
很开心的一年。
I don't think I could ask for a better answer. Let's all do our best to survive this, so we can come back here when it's all over. I know that's what I'll be doing.
亚修，你说的对。去一趟温室。最后一个月了。 多逛一下我们的学校吧。讨醋力，就这啊。先转密钥防守加1实用，黄金苹果魅力加1实用，用坏的钢剑保存起来，拿一个银剑，勇者之剑、雷电剑、座尔坦之剑，倭刀也拿好。去一趟大教堂。
Hey.
让雅尼特和小王子一起唱歌。
Singing is so much fun. Everyone should enjoy themselves while they're doing it.
It is not guaranteed to be good, even if everyone sings earnestly. It is not easy after all.
合唱季的效果是什么呢？啊，他俩的支援等级还没有提升啊。Dimitri，
Our next battlefield will be the Imperial capital. There will be no turning back. If you have any unfinished business here, you had best settle it before we depart.
放心吧。
I knew I could count on you. Good luck.
Let me consider. It matters not how just our cause may be. In the end, war is nothing more than organized murder. I understand the desire to reach a conclusion, but we mustn't overlook the sins inherent in our deeds. Sorry, I have a tendency to preach. We have lost so much, and in return, we have taken much from our enemies. I pray we can put an end to this cycle of violence.
嘟嘟。
I believe in you, but please ensure that His Highness survives as well. Fodlan's future would be in peril if we lost him. I would not be able to go on.
交给我吧。
Thank you.
去看一下我们的民生值啊，够不够把最后一个雕像的给点满？
Need something?
哎呀，还差2500，我现在的民生值才600，看来这周末是点不满的。我们留在这个的话可以继承到下一周末的，我们留到下一周末的话，留到下一周末再来点亮那个最后的圣像吧。定制一个菜单，让小王子和雅尼特吃一顿。
Oh, this takes me back. I used to love this when I was a child.
Ooh, I love this stuff. Did you know that?
很好，我们最后一个支援剧情的话已经触发了。
Your Highness, thank you for everything.
This is sudden. Why so formal? You are not about to tell me you intend to leave the army, are you?
Oh no, it's not that. I just had the chance to return to the capital on military business. It had really been a long time. Life's pretty hard there right now, but its old vitality seems to be returning bit by bit. If it wasn't for you, I'm sure things wouldn't be looking so promising. So...
Come now, no need to exaggerate. Do not forget that I abandoned them and fled once as well.
You had no choice. If you had remained in the capital, you would have been killed. If you keep thinking so dark and gloomy, you're gonna end up looking just like Father.
Annette, you probably do not realize, but over those 5 years, I took many lives. I slaughtered generals and officials alike with brutality you would scarcely think a human was capable of. And as I have intensified my fight with the Empire, how many people have fallen in the capital? My hands are already dripping with blood. I cannot be forgiven.
You really are a lot more like Father than I am. Before Father left us, he used to say similar things. I don't want you to end up like him. So, I've been thinking, when this war is over, I was wondering whether I could help you with your work. Of course, I don't know how much I'd be able to support a king.
What are you saying?
If I leave you to your own devices, you'll forget how to laugh. We can't have that. You won't be able to do what you have to do with such a miserable look on your face. So, if you'll have me, I'd like to stay by your side. If you're sad or suffering, I'll just starve you until you muster a smile.
Starve me?
Hey, you weren't supposed to laugh at that part. I thought a lot about this.
Sorry, I could not help myself. Certainly with you around, I will not have any cause to frown. By all means, join me, Annette. And never lose that sweet smile of yours.
Yes, I promise.
好了，我们最后一个支援等级的话呢，完成了。我是打算怎么安排呢？结局的时候呢，让小王子跟丢丢在一起，然后菲利克斯跟梅斯在一起，然后我跟亚修结婚。我想让谢小凡跟英古利特结婚，雅尼特的话呢，就跟他爸爸在一起吧。福莲也跟他爸爸在一起。就这样呢，每个人都有了归宿。当然要实现这一点的话呢，就必须让大家交情较深的伙伴变一变啊。那小王子的话，诶，丢丢最喜欢的居然是雅尼特，不是小王子吗？必须要让小王子跟丢丢啊加深交情，让他们交情较深的伙伴全都是对方啊。 那菲利克斯的话，梅斯都排到哪儿去了？你怎么会最喜欢雅尼特呢？你们亚修也最喜欢雅尼特啊？小凡的话还是英古利特很好。梅斯最喜欢的居然是小凡，雅尼特最喜欢的是吉奥伯特很好。英古利特是西奥凡，这对的话也定了。西提斯的话是福莲，福莲是西提斯。吉奥伯特是雅尼特，这些都很好啊。关键是小王子跟丢丢啊。行，那我们本期的话呢，就先结束在这里了。下期我们再准备一下，下期的话就直接是最终大战了。好的，我们下期再见。